Hi, everyone. This is Lisa. I'm back again, sharing love and light and positive thoughts. So, today we are going to be talking about taking care of your mental health and how important it is during the grieving process. Never allow anyone to interfere with your healing process, especially when you're grieving a loved one. It is so important, people, today to take care of your mental health because a lot of people are going into a deep depression because their loved one is no longer here, especially if that loved one passed away unexpectedly. Sometimes people pass away unexpectedly without being sick, etc. And that's even more difficult in some cases. In any event, losing a loved one is very heartbreaking, and it's very stressful. And after the funeral and everything is over and done and said, um, you go back to your life. And sometimes it's difficult to go back to your life when that person was a huge part of your life. And I know how that feels. And just dealing with grief myself has been difficult. And I've gone through hell and been back. And I want to help somebody else because somebody helped me. And when I said somebody, besides just being in that moment of isolation and being alone, my church has been like family to me. And they have helped me as well as my therapist through this process. Because as I said, I lost a lot of friends, my mom, and also my beloved pet. And it all happened within like a certain time frame, like right, like a, how do I say this? Like a domino effect, one right after the other. And it was just like one person passed away, like my mom passed away, and then we had to have an online service, and then boom, a couple of months later, then a friend died. Then a few months after that, a cousin passed away, and then my dog, and then it just went on and on and on, and even recently, having an aunt of mine pass away, and they had the online service for her last Saturday, last weekend. And it just has been difficult. It's not easy. And anyone who has gone through grief, they know what I'm talking about. Everybody grieves differently. Some people have anger, some people have sadness, or people just cry, or you would feel one or the other at different moments of the grief process. But you're going to have anger, you're going to have moments of depression, moments where you have tears, moments of just not feeling like you want to get up and go outside or do anything. In the beginning, for myself, we were in a shutdown, so the isolation helped. But what I do now is therapy, grief therapy. It's important. Never feel too ashamed to see a therapist and to get help, because it's important to take care of your mental health. Even the men who may be listening to this channel, please never feel like that you're too, because you're a guy, you need to man up or something. No, it's human. You're human just like everybody else. We all are human. And when we lose someone that we truly love, it's devastating. So it's important to have an outlet for the grief. And one of the things I did is, as I said, which I'm still doing, is grief counseling, and I do that once a week. And find out the grief counseling in your area. And also, they have these grief therapy groups where you can attend. And that's important too, because you can hear stories from other people who are grieving like yourself, how they deal with things. It's important for your mental health. And one of the things my therapist told me to do is to write down what I'm feeling when I'm feeling it at that particular time. Keep my mom's memory alive. Talk about my dog as well, because he was for pet lovers, they're part of the family as well. And just, the other night I was watching something, and I thought about my dog Rocky, who passed away. He was my pug. I took this dog everywhere with me, basically. And and then I posted something on Facebook last night, a little pug story. It was a funny story. Things like that. Do things that are going to make you feel good, because it's not easy. Just like, and keep it light. And when I say keep it light, uh, what I did for myself, I didn't watch the news all the time because it was depressing. It was a whole lot of stuff going on the news, and I just wouldn't watch it, you know. And what else I would do is write down. I would just write things about my mom, write things about myself. Um, to do things. I love comedy shows, I love music. Those things soothe me. Go for a walk, get out of the house, because when you're in day out and you don't go anywhere and you're just lounging around, it can make the depression even worse. Talk to people who are going to listen to you. That's important. Whether they understand what you're going through or not, that's okay. That's okay. Just listen. If you have a friend, a relative, or someone in your vicinity, or a church member, etc., that would just sit and just listen to you. They may not understand all your feelings and what you're going through, but be around people who are just going to listen, who are going to uplift you and not disregard you or dismiss you. It's important to never allow anyone to stop your healing process. That's important, because if you can't heal, you're going to always be in a place of brokenness. And nobody needs that, because it's not good for your mental health. And it's always good to take care of yourself, because if you're not your best self, how can you give to your children or to anybody else? And like I said, I know from firsthand, because I lost a lot of loved ones, even up until recently. And it's not easy to deal with. But getting into a grief counseling group in your area, what you can do is just Google it. Go to Google from whatever state or area that you live and look into those things. You don't have to talk to other people about it either, because this is for your benefit. And just look it up, make some phone calls, and then check out some therapists and see who matches with your personality and who you think will be best suited for your needs. And also, like I said, grief counseling groups where you can hear other stories, because it's important to know that people are also who are grieving are going through this, because sometimes there are other people who are going through grief, but they're not talking about it, they're not sharing it, they're not telling you about it. And last week, I'll give you an example. I went out after church and I went, to a luncheon with some church members. And I was talking about something, because we're all parents, about a difficult situation with my son. And I also found out that, I'm not the only one who go through things as a parent, that everybody else who are parents are going through some similar situations. And it helped me, believe it or not, to hear their stories of what they were going through, how they were handling it, etc. That helped me a lot, because I felt isolated to the situation, thinking it was just me. But to know that other people were going through it and how they were handling it helped lift me up. So be around people and situations that are going to lift you up. So that's why I'm emphasizing the grief counseling groups, because other people who have lost loved ones, they will tell their story on losing a loved one and how they are getting through it. And some of the things that they're talking about may actually help you heal, because the healing process isn't easy. None of this is easy. But if you apply it little by little, you start to feel better. And nothing is going to help but time. You never get over the grief, never ever get over it, but you can live with it one day at a time. You can keep your loved one memory alive by talking about them and sharing the things that you did together, that you had fun doing with them, and keep their memory alive. But it's important to have an outlet, because with no outlet, there's no healing. The mental healing, there's no healing yourself. So it's important to do that. Allow yourself in the beginning to grieve as much as possible, but then start the healing process by looking for an outlet and getting help. That's so important. I plan, everyone here listening, in the future to do seminars in person where people can attend and we could talk about this, because when you don't talk about it, you're holding these things in and there's no outlet for it to go anywhere. And it can, affect your not just mental health, but it can affect your health physically and in all areas of your life. And we want to do things that are going to help us strive and to be better. So that's so important. And I'm talking from personal experience because none of it is easy. And please continue to listen to these YouTube videos because I'm going to be doing them weekly for those especially who are grieving right now and who are not just grieving but at a point of depression, because some people can get to the point of depression where they feel suicidal, and we don't want any of that to happen. Please share and subscribe here and share the videos with those who you know who are going through grief at the moment, who recently lost a loved one, and they need to hear the message and get themselves into a grieving support group. So please continue to listen here. And I will be back on probably in a few days. Share this video. I'm here to uplift and to help others and to spread love and light. And before I leave today, I want to say it's important to take in as little negativity as possible. Like today, I was watching the news for about 10 minutes and I had to turn it off because it's never anything good. I wanted to see about this snow that is supposed to be coming. But before we got to the story, I had to hear all this other stuff, right? And it's like, it's depressing. It's very depressing, and something about a shooting, another shooting, etc. And I said, oh my God, this is just too much. So I try to keep as little negativity. I try to intake as little negativity as possible because I just can't take in too much. So those out there, especially if you're going through a lot of grief and sadness, try to do things that uplift you. Like I said, for me, it's music, it's writing, watching something, a comedy show, something that I like. So do something that makes you feel better. Even if it's a bubble bath, getting outside, eating your favorite food, whatever it is, do that. And remember that grief is an ongoing process to the healing process and that it takes time. And give yourself that time that you need. Thank you for listening. Please share this video because someone out there needs to hear this message. And I'm going to keep delivering this message. I'm also going to let you know when I'll be doing those seminars so that you can attend in person. Also, if you want to send an email, my email address is Lisa Vaughn 410 at gmail.com. But I'm going to be just for right now sharing videos. But if you want any additional information, feel free to send me an email as well. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to share this video. And I'll be back in a few days. Everyone, have a great day.